Hello everyone, got 5 dirty jokes for you today. So a blonde has been hiding that she likes girls from her parents for years. She has always been scared that they wouldn't accept her like many other parents do. She was speaking about it to her best friend, who is familiar with her parents. Her friend said, "Are you serious? I thought they knew already. Why wouldn't they accept you? Just tell them today." The blonde was nervous but decided to take her friend's advice. During dinner that evening, she began to open herself to her parents. "I have something to say to you too. I liked girls for years now and I've been hiding it from the two of you. Please accept me," she began. Her parents looked at each other in bewilderment. "Why do you think we won't accept you?" Her mom said. "Yeah, are you dumb?" said her other mom. So an Airbus 380 is on its way across the Atlantic. It flies consistently at 800 kilometers per hour at 30,000 feet, when suddenly a Eurofighter with a tempo Mach 2 appears. The pilot of the fighter jet slows down, flies alongside the Airbus and greets the pilot of the passenger plane by radio. "Airbus, boring flight, isn't it? Now have a look here." He rolls his jet on its back, accelerates, breaks through the sound barrier, rises rapidly to a dizzying height, and then swoops down almost to sea level in a breathtaking dive. He loops back next to the Airbus and asks, "Well, how was that?" The Airbus pilot answers, "Very impressive, but watch this." The jet pilot watches the Airbus, but nothing happens. It continues to fly straight at the same speed. After 15 minutes, the Airbus pilot radios, "Well, how was that?" Confused, the jet pilot asks, "What did you do?" The Airbus pilot laughs and says, "I got up, stretched my legs, walked to the back of the aircraft to use the washroom, then got a cup of coffee and a chocolate fudge pastry." So a father comes home from a business trip and sees his son with a brand new mountain bike. Knowing that his allowance isn't nearly enough to afford it, he asks, "Son, where did you get that bike from?" "I earned the money by hiking." His son replies proudly. "Hiking?" his father asks, confused. "How did you make money from hiking?" "Well, every day you were gone, Mr. Jones from next door would come over to visit Mom, and each time he'd give me $10 and say, 'Here, kid, take a hike.'" So a 16-year-old boy came home with a brand new Ford F-150. His parents look at the truck and ask, "Where did you get that truck?" "I bought it today," he says. "With what money?" says his mother. They knew what a new F-150 cost. "Well," he says, "this one cost me just $15. The father looks at him like he's crazy. "Who would sell a truck like that for $15? He says. "It was the lady up the street," says the boy. "I don't know her name, they just moved in. She saw me ride past on my bike and asked me if I wanted to buy her F-150 for $15. "Oh my goodness," says the mother. "Maybe she's mentally ill or has Alzheimer's something. Jim, you better go see what's going on." So the boy's father walks up the street to the house where the lady lives and finds her out in the yard calmly planting flowers. He introduces himself as the father of the boy to whom she had sold a new Ford F-150 truck for $15 and asks to know why she did it. "Well," she says, "2 days ago my husband left on a business trip. Yesterday I got a phone call from his boss and found out that he really ran off to Hawaii with his secretary and doesn't intend to come back." "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry," the father says. But what does that have to do with my son and your truck? Well, this morning he called and told me he was stranded because he got robbed of his wallet with all his credit cards and cash. He told me to sell his new F-150 and send him the money. So I did. So Batman and Robin go out for a few drinks. Both superheroes are exhausted after a long week of non-stop crime fighting and decide to chill for a few hours at the local watering hole. Robin knows his friend has been working way too hard and for long hours. So he thinks, what the heck, he can get drunk and relax. He decides to remain watchful and orders non-alcoholic beer, while Batman orders a bottle of scotch for himself. The booze takes the edge off and Batman opens up about his dead parents, the millions he's lost on Bitcoin, his romantic relationship failures. He's almost crying. A couple of hours later he finishes the bottle and is totally shit-faced. Robin pays the bill, and they exit the bar and head off to where they parked the Batmobile. Batman can barely walk. He realizes he can't drive, so he hands the Batmobile's keys to Robin. "You're driving tonight, kiddo." Robin's jaw drops. He can't believe his luck. After all these years, he's finally driving this machine. And boy, is he going to test its limits. He puts Batman in the passenger seat, lowers it and buckles him up. He turns on the engine, grabs the stick shift, shifts into first and slams down the gas pedal. He quickly shifts into second, third gear. He goes from 0-60 in 2.5 seconds. He's driving through Gotham's streets like a maniac. He takes a hard turns and downshifts to control the steer. He enters the freeway and is quickly upshifting gears again. He wants to take this baby to the limit, so he repeatedly takes exits and climbs back onto the freeway. He takes exit ramps at 90 mph. He's pushing over 150. And he's controlling the car with the stick alone, masterfully upshifting and downshifting. He's barely touched the brakes. Batman hasn't made a peep. After a while, he realizes he's pushed the Batmobile enough and probably came to busting the gearbox. He drives back to the Batcave. He parks the Batmobile and opens the door to exit, but a hand stops him and says, "Kiss me, Robin." "Say what, Batman?" exclaims Robin, visibly surprised. "Kiss me, Robin," repeats Batman. Confused Robin screams out, "I don't know what gave you that idea, but I'm not into you." Batman looks at him and says, "Oh, come on, Robin. You've always known that the Batmobile is automatic."